press here. All right, everyone, shh.
Put on the microphone. You gotta show it to him. That thing's terrifying. It's staying there.
All right, his name's Todd. So, Michael, tell us how you've been today.
I'm fine. Started this. I finished up. Have you ever read Catcher in the Rye?
No.
Never read it.
Definitely seen the front cover, though.
Every time I tell people I'm reading it, they always give me this look like that guy's crazy. It's a crazy book.
You've read all these books, right?
I've read all of them. And now I'm going to start this one next about people with autism. It is, what is autism? A lifelong disability or naturally occurring form of cognitive difference akin to certain forms of genius. In truth, it is both of these things and more, and the future of society depends on understanding it. In Neurotribes, award-winning science journalist Steve Silberman peels back layers of medical history surrounding the autism diagnosis, revealing the complex roles of Hans Asperger and Leo Kanner in our current understanding of autism and chronically the brave and lonely journey of autistic people and their families through the decades. Radically altering the societal conversation about autism, Silverman also explores game-changing concepts of neurodiversity, making the convincing case that neurological differences like autism,
Look at me.
dyslexia, and ADHD I'm crying, are natural variations in the human genome. You're natural. That
you are too.
They ultimately, what is that? It's supposed to be offensive? Ultimately unite us as humans. Neurotribes maps out our societal path towards a world in which people with cognitive differences have access to the resources they need to live happier, healthier, more secure, and more meaningful lives.
Wow.
Can't wait to read it. Can't wait to read it. Can't wait to read the book. Can't wait to read the book. I cannot wait to read the book. I cannot wait to read the book.
Can't wait to read it.
So I saw the picture of Dad's ear. I was on FaceTime with Taylor and
Taylor's response was,
and everybody came in.
"Oh, it's in there." Something like that.
I was laying down. I was talking to Taylor, and like Mom comes bouncing into the room, and she's talking to me about, I don't know, nothing with substance, but she was using words.
What'd she say?
I don't know. But then I asked her about
Mike, you okay?
Dad's ears. I'm gonna need you to explain.
Oh God.
This ear story to everybody.
What did Mom say?
She said it with little to no surprise in her voice, which scared the fuck out of me. She seemed like it was completely normal. But
and then when I'm explaining it, it's like, oh my God.
Well, I want you to explain it to everybody.
Oh, so we have so I came home from Salisbury on Wednesday.
Closer to your mouth.
I came home from Salisbury on Wednesday. The 11th? I'm pretty sure that was the 11th. I got home around 4:30 p.m. And I went upstairs, started unpacking, no one was home yet. And then I decided I wanted to take a bath. So I went downstairs, walked outside to get my Bose speaker out of my car. And I walked outside and I see Dad with his trunk open, the car trunk open. And he's like cussing up a storm in the car. And I was like, okay. I was like, hey, Dad, how are you? He goes, well, Jen, I've been much better. I've been much better before. And I was like, okay, what's wrong? He's like, well, I went to the damn shooting range today, and you see this huge bump on my ear. And I'm like, oh my God, did you get shot? Is that like a bullet? He goes, God damn it, Jen, no, it's not a bullet. And
turn your
my
freaking phone off.
Oh, it's my phone. Sorry. And then I was like, well, what happened? He was like, well, I wore these ear protectors today, and the orange thing got stuck in my ear. And at this time, it's like a huge bump, not even like in the ear, like below the ear hole. Mm-hmm. And I was like, well, you should go to the doctors and get that out. He's like, no, mom will be home in about 30 minutes. And I'm like, okay. So I walked back in. He was pissed off, so I went up to my room to be away from him because it's just not fun when he's mad. Mm-hmm. And then he came in, slammed the door, walked up like halfway up the staircase. I was like, why are you in your room, Jen? Like, are you okay? Have you had a bad day? I'm like, no, I just don't want to deal with, like, how pissed you are. He's like, no, I'm fine, but your mom decided to go to the grocery store. So she'll be, like, an extra 15 minutes.
Everybody else is in trouble.
And I was like, well, no, I'm going to take a bath soon. He goes, all right, well, you can come down whenever.
Did you tell him what was in it? What was in his ear?
Well, I said the ear protector part.
Oh, okay.
Well.
But it wasn't like one of these.
No, it was like the little, I actually have a picture of it. Not like the picture of his ear. An actual picture. If you want to show them this. Kind of looks like these.
Oh, shit. Fuck. Where's the thing that swipes up? Whatever. Okay. Oh, that's fine.
What do you mean the thing that swipes up?
So you can turn it horizontally. Yeah, that's fine. Whatever. That's cool. You know
so it's like the little orange pluggy things that you put in, like when you go swimming and you have like an ear infection. Yeah. And you put those little gummy things in your ear. Earplugs. There we go. And I hear mom come home, and I just went in the bath because I was about to throw up when he's explaining this to me. And when I get out of the bath, mom goes, Jen, I got it out of one pool. And I was like, well, that's great, mom, but that's disgusting. She goes, I just used a flashlight, a needle, and some pliers to get it out. And I was like, oh my God. And then the next day, well, a couple days when I went to go visit Mike on Friday at the gym, well, bought him stuff.
You see that thing up on my door? Don't touch it. What is it? I think it's a booger. I think it might be like a booger. Dude, I've been having the wildest dreams lately. I've been taking the melatonin to go to sleep every night now. Or at least the past 2 nights because I've been trying to get to bed really early. So I had not 7. I had 40 milligrams of melatonin last night. And then
How many pills is that?
4. So then the night before I had 3 pills, 30 mil. 3
pills of 30 milligrams. No, 3 pills of 10 milligrams each.
Totaling 30 milligrams.
Totaling 30.
You're TikTok.
You're TikTok.
You're TikTok. Totaling 30 milligrams of caffeine of melatonin. Melatonin. So I've finally been dreaming, and I had this dream.
You've finally been dreaming.
I had this dream 2 nights ago. It was, Taylor and I were in a haunted house, and we had our pet lizard. It was kind of, it looked like an alligator of some sorts, but it was more lizardy because it wasn't an alligator, it was a lizard.
Was it like the size of a lizard?
It was the size of an alligator, but looked like a lizard. Okay. It didn't have the scales of a.
It looked like the gecko dude.
Yeah.
But it was the size of a crocodile.
Yeah, and we went fruit shopping, and we bought 3 gallons of fruit, and there were berries and pineapples and oranges and apples and mangoes. And we went fruit shopping, and then we walked back into this haunted house after we got back from fruit shopping, and our lizard ate it, just died right there, and he started regrowing a tail, and I hopped on the tail, and as it was growing it shot the tail up super fast. So I'm holding onto the back of the tail, and it goes because it's growing its tail again, and I go and I hit the fucking water slide. I go flying off the damn water slide.
What water slide?
There was just a water slide behind the haunted hill, and I just go flying off, and I fucking eat it in the ocean.
Where's Taylor doing?
She's just hanging out with the bundles of fruit. She didn't care about a lizard to go save the lizard's life.
That's what dream did you have last night?
I don't know. But I remember
Were they vivid?
I woke up laughing. I don't know if people do. I don't know if when people dream they wake up laughing.
Do you ever sleep and then you like your whole body just like
sleep? As you're falling asleep?
I don't know because I'm usually dreaming when I have it, and then like I feel myself freak out, but I'm still having my dream.
Yeah, there's when you're falling to sleep, as your body's shutting off to fall asleep, there's like a rush of adrenaline. There's like a rush of energy that's literally shot through your brain, like as you're falling asleep, as you're turning your body off. And then sometimes when you go to, I know since I sleep with Taylor, there's been nights yeah, where I like fucking like kick her or something with my arm, or I like
kick her something with your arm.
Yeah, with my arm, and then I punch her with my leg. But there's times where that happens, and she's like, "Are you okay?" And I'm like, ugh. And she doesn't do this sometimes. She'll be falling asleep, and I'll have my arm around her. She'll be like, and I'll be like, "Don't do that." And she'll be like, "I'm sorry," and she goes back to bed. But there's that, which I don't know what that is. I think it's when you
jig?
like kill an animal, or when you like punch a beetle or something, or you like knock out when an animal dies, it goes in rigor mortis, which is when
it's still like
twitching out a
like
little bit.
I think the best example is a spider, because then the legs start going.
Yeah, that's the best example. Yeah, that's the number one example.
Well, because like imagine this is the head of the spider and these are the legs.
They're folding in as they're dying.
They're like kind of moving.
Have you ever stepped on a mama spider when it blew up? You ever done that? I did that one time when I came home from Adams. I walked outside and there was a spider there with a sack on it, and I fucking smashed it, and the little babies go pew, just go flying around everywhere.
That's so gross. I know, man. That is so gross. That's one thing I can't deal with is spiders.
Yeah,
they're quick, and they can just eat my body. They can just eat my body. I freak out when you tell me that, and I don't know what to do.
Just keep it like
He's looking at my pants, guys. I got Christmas pants on. They're dogs. It's you guys listening on the radio. It's dogs. They're white. They're fluffy. They have different animals.
I think this is episode 50. I think you're the lucky guest for episode 50.
Wait. Can I do a song?
Okay, but I might get blocked. I might get a strike on it. You can't play it too long, though.
I won't.
You can't play it too long.
1 second.
Okay. It's already too long.
It's called Woohoo.
What was the point of that?
Woohoo! Episode 50. So, Mike, what are you doing for Christmas? The holidays? That was a bad question, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's a bad question. I don't know. I guess I'm hanging out with you guys and shit.
Do you guys know what it's called when what you hit when you lose your virginity?
Ah, fuck. You know T.I.? Did you hear about the T.I. story? You know the rapper T.I.?
No.
He came out and he told the public that for his daughter's birthday every year from like 13 to 18, he would go to the doctors and get her her what's it called?
Chlamydia?
Ah, no, not chlamydia. No, the hymen. The hymen.
The hymen.
Yeah, the hymen.
The hymen.
He would go and get his daughter's hymen checked out just to make sure she wasn't.
That is terrible.
I know. It's kind of funny though.
I thought it was just called a cherry.
Oh.
Mom said that last night too.
I heard you guys laughing so hard downstairs last night. I was so disappointed.
Well, then, because Mom was like being annoying, and
Mom is
I went to scare her from the bathroom, so I went like by the closet, the jacket hangers. Mm-hmm. I went like behind there because she would know because I got really quiet, so I think she knew I was gonna scare her. But when she came out, I decided not to scare her, and she just sprinted full speed from the bathroom to the living room, just like, and I didn't scare her. She goes, "Where is she?" I was like, "I'm right here, Mom."
Do you remember that friend I had back in? Why is that so funny?
That friend I had.
That made me think of something. Cherries. When you're talking about cherries, it made me think of my friend Farad. Remember my buddy Farad?
From PG?
From PG County?
Yeah.
The little Iranian dude.
In our neighborhood?
Yeah, and he was always a terrorist.
Yeah.
We had to shoot him, kill him. You remember that? This was like this was post 9/11.
Yeah.
And there was this little kid named Iraq. No, not Iraq.
Alfred.
No, his name was Farad.
Oh, Farad.
Amagama, something like that. I think his name was like Farad Amagama. And I remember his house used to be full of just fucking trees everywhere. And his parents would always come out with the full garbs on and everything. And I didn't think anything of it, but we thought enough of it that when we would play cops and robbers, we would have me and like my 6 friends, all of us were Caucasian men, and then we would have the one
dude.
Oh, tan?
He's tan.
Middle Eastern?
Yeah.
Middle Eastern. Actually, I don't think he was Middle Eastern. He was I think he was Indian.
Pakistani?
That's Middle East. No, that's Asian. But he had the dot on his head, or at least his sister had the dot on her head, so I think that's Indian. I think he's from India. Okay. But out of all the kids that we could have had to play the terrorist, we always made him the terrorist, and we used to run around the fucking backyard with fake guns and like shoot each other, and we would like kill him.
Did he have any weapons on him?
No, he didn't have a grenade on him, Jen. Jesus Christ, no, we were faking it. I remember we used to play cops and robbers, and we would always shoot and kill him. And we had this one kid that lived up the street too. And all I remember about him is that he had like a front yard that had like the perfect hedges, like when you cut.
Yes.
Remember that guy?
Yes, I remember the house.
I think his name was like Brady or something. The kid was batshit crazy. I remember I think he had a sister. So his dad was always getting locked up for like beating up his wife and like and like DUIs and shit like that. Right next to the Figalozis.
His sister?
Close to your mouth.
His sister?
You want to repeat it, but yeah, I think his dad was always like getting arrested for DUIs and stuff like that.
Holy cow!
I know. Have you ever stolen anything from a grocery store or anything like that? I don't think I've ever done it.
I feel really guilty about it. It was a Jolly Rancher from Five Below.
Was it with Dad?
No, it was with Caroline.
Who?
Caroline.
How old are you?
I was like in 5th grade.
Yeah.
And then Pam took us to Five Below, her mom. And I said, "You won't take a Jolly Rancher?"
How old are you?
5th grade?
Oh, yeah. I don't know. What's that, 12?
No. That's like 10.
10. Yeah. Yeah, 10. 10 for me.
Yeah, it's like 10.
10 for you, too. Some people it's 11. I always thought I was such a young kid in school, but I wasn't actually that young. I graduated at 17.
No, like Lindsay, my friend Lindsay's birthday is in October. She just turned 20. Alyssa's birthday in October.
How old are you?
20, but I turned 21 in March. Caroline turned 21 earlier this month. She's 98.
Did you know you have to be 21 now to buy cigarettes?
Really?
Did you know that's a state law?
What about marijuana? Medical marijuana.
You can't just buy marijuana.
Medical marijuana.
Jesus, I would
that
assume
18?
20. I would assume 21. I had no idea it was 18. I mean 21. I always thought cigarettes were 18 years old.
It was.
And then it wasn't.
When?
Recently. I don't know. But if you go into like BP or gas stations, there's a sign that says like you must be born.
Why'd you say BP?
That's the one I went to this morning.
You went to BP?
Yeah, I always go to the BP because
the green one?
Yeah.
What
do you mean?
That place scares me.
They have the most selection of energy drinks.
Oh.
And they have this really, really nice African American lady who always offers me cookies. She does. She always offers me cookies. She said, "Hon, you want a cookie?"
Now imagine if that was a dude offering a girl that. Hey, you want a cookie?
Hey, sweetheart, you want a cookie?
That's why I thought it was just weird.
No, she's a sweet girl. She's like 65, 70. She said, "You want a cookie?"
Okay, you call her a girl.
There's always white men behind her, and like
she's a woman.
There's everybody, all the colors are always behind her because it's one of those gas stations where there's lotto tickets. So all the fucktards are just out there all day, just playing lotto numbers.
She doesn't offer them cookies?
No, but they're like yelling at her. They're like, "Hey, sweet cheeks, give me a lotto ticket." She said, "Cool off, Jerry. I'm giving out cookies." And then me and like my little friend Joey behind me, he's like, I don't know.
Does she work there?
Yeah, it's like her and 2 other people that work there. Anyways, it's a great BP, and I go there all the time. It's definitely the BP that if I were to get shot in an armed robbery.
You'd be enjoyed? You have a fun time dying?
No, that would be the place that you would get shot at.
Yeah, it would.
BP's a super ghetto. You never go to BP. You're like, "Oh, that's a nice BP."
And it's weird because a BP here is like between the dog place and then Homestead. So it's like,
That's not the one I go to.
which one do you go
I
to?
go to the one off of
What the heck?
you know where Grandma lives? That little corner right there.
Shell?
No, if you're going to let's say you're going to the gym, but you're taking the back roads. So when you're coming out of the neighborhood, you take a right. Obviously, instead of taking a left to go 50, you take a right.
Yeah.
And then you take a right again.
Yeah.
Now you're on that back road.
Yeah.
Just take that back road all the way straight to the gym.
Where's the BP?
Right next to that little boat area. Or if you take a left, you go down to the Game of Thrones festival. What is it? The Renaissance.
Renaissance?
Yeah, at that intersection.
Oh, you make a left there?
Well, there's an intersection. You pull up to the intersection.
Oh, that BP.
That BP.
Okay.
Is that BP violent too?
I think that's a little less sketchy than the one.
Yeah, the other one that you're talking to.
That was.
The one that you're talking to, Sean Healy used to always tell me that was a place to buy bongs from and shit.
Yeah, that's the place to buy jewels and bongs and.
Yeah.
Yeah, they give some.
The other place does the same thing.
Really?
Yeah, the other place does the same thing, but
That place would always scare me. I remember Dad and I went there. He told me, they always tell me to lock the car, but he really told me 5 times, lock the car, and when I come back,
it's not even that bad.
But Dad, he's just.
What is he? What is that? Paranoid?
Yeah.
Very paranoid?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's been paranoid a lot more lately. But anyways, yeah, that's where I get all my my cookies from. I've never actually had one of her cookies. I don't trust them.
That's what I was trying. I'm like, you really take a random lady's cookies? What kind of cookies?
I like chocolate chip.
What's your favorite Christmas cookie or favorite cookie?
I was gonna say Christmas cookie. I like a snickerdoodle.
That's my favorite.
Don't yell at me. You know what I was
really excited.
You know, I was thinking about this I don't know, 94 hours ago.
About 4 days ago?
About 4 days ago, but not all the way. 3 days and 22 hours ago.
Okay.
I was thinking about this, and you know how there's a lot of things that you can and can't say, and you can't call you can't really use the word retard anymore. Mm-hmm. You know, there's a lot of things you can't say to people. Yeah, I can't call. I gotta ask somebody what the pronoun is.
Yeah.
There's something that is that cup right there. The Washington Redskins have managed for the last 30 years to still have the logo Redskin. Didn't
something just get passed that they can't anymore?
No, they still can. They always will.
Oh.
That's the most offensive cup. And I'm not. I mean, I'm not much about. I'm offensive at times.
There was this one interview I watched actually, and it was asking Native Americans if they were offended by the name Redskins, and majority of them said it doesn't really affect my life.
Yeah,
that they're called the Washington Redskins. Yeah. But then there were a few that were like, yeah, it's discriminatory, it's offensive, but there were very few compared to the whole.
Do you watch Ben Shapiro?
I used to a lot.
I know. I always go
Not much anymore, though.
If I go onto our Google page on the computer downstairs,
things pop up.
Your Google's logged in, and everything that you watch is this.
Pops up.
You watch Steven Crowder, Ben Shapiro.
I don't really watch Ben Shapiro anymore. I used to watch him a lot about last year, but then he got a little bit too robotic for me.
He got a little crazy.
Yeah.
He's a little robot, Jill.
Steven Crowder has actually gotten less crazy.
Yeah.
And I kind of enjoy it. I really like Flecka's Talk.
Who?
Flecka's Talk. More of... And this other dude. I forget his name, but they usually just go to protests and talk to people there. And
the big white guy with the beard?
Yeah.
I know you're talking about.
And the other dude that he's usually with looks gay, but he's not gay.
What does that even mean? Looks gay?
Like he acts gay. I probably shouldn't say that either.
He acts gay?
Just very
flamboyant.
Yeah. Yeah.
Jumps from left to right field, but you can't. Yee.
But I usually watch them a lot. I've been watching a lot of prison documentaries too.
I saw that you were watching as we were going to the New York City. I saw that you were watching Alaska prison or something.
I was watching a death row prison documentary. Ugh. And then second. It was actually the interview was really, really.
What type of documentaries are there? Are they like by like Nat Geo, or are they like a journalist, independent
Some British
journalist?
dude from British journalist guy. He's actually really well spoken. 2 parts, 45 minutes, and he actually like gets in deep conversations with these men. I think there were 12 men at the Indiana State Prison, and it was actually really, really interesting, really sad. And then I watched another documentary, which was an all-female prison, which is weird to watch.
Yeah, they're pretty much all men, right?
Well, in the all-female prison?
Yeah, they're all females, but they're fucking
There
thick.
was this one really, really skinny girl who has
Beth?
2 kids, but her third one she killed at 3 months.
That's yeah.
And I was just like, she looks like a very small, not intimidating lady.
Yeah, well, she probably didn't have enough resources to raise it.
It started having like a seizure or something.
Yeah.
And she like,
Was she high at the time she killed it?
she didn't say that. She
Does she remember?
She
killing
tried to
it?
comfort it with a blanket. And held it with a blanket. And I guess a baby having a seizure like that with a blanket, suffocation,
Not good.
and it died.
That's more common than people want to believe. Infanticide is like not something that's super rare.
But in these female prisons, they have like a whole pregnancy center.
Yeah.
They're allowed to go and have their kids at a regular hospital, but one of their ankles have to be handcuffed to the chair, to the bed. It's a whole weird world. But then I watched like the San Pedro prison in Mexico, in Central America. And the government completely has like parted ways with the prison system. And at that prison, the cops have like one outside layer that they control, but they don't even go into the prison anymore. It's like a whole nother government that's in there. The prisoners bring their family there. They have like a whole job system. They have like the highest ranked and like the poorest prisoners. It's crazy.
Oh, where there's like during food time, the poor people like run up and try to get food from outside the fence.
It gets crazy.
It's like there's a fence inside of a fence.
Yeah, and they can get visitors, and if you don't have visitors, you're probably gonna die in the prison.
Yeah, I saw that.
They bring packs of like cocaine and like, it's just crazy.
It's like a caste system almost.
And the government doesn't care. They're just like, you do whatever.
Yeah.
We don't really care about you guys anymore. It makes America's prisons look like hotels.
Yeah, prison's always been a weird thing to me. I always get so confused. It just seems like such a primitive way to like deal with criminals, doesn't it?
I think nowadays it is. I think when it first started, it made sense, but now they're bringing thousands and thousands in every day.
Yeah.
And I just think there's some cases that are not as... I think there's different ways you can...
There's so many people sitting in jail right now who are in jail just from like a drug charge, which is so strange. Like, there's a difference, I think, between like, if you're like selling drugs, I guess that's illegal, because I guess there's like
I think that's more severe.
It's more severe. Like the act of selling a drug isn't severe, but the process of doing it is what can be dangerous. And like the only reason why it's even dangerous is because it's illegal.
And people can put stuff in it.
Yeah, you can lace it and stuff like that.
Yeah,
but if you legalized all the drugs, if you legalized cocaine, Oakland did this. Oakland literally they've legalized all drugs. But if you went ahead and you legalized, heroin, if you legalized cocaine, if you legalized all these drugs, it seems like in theory it probably wouldn't work. Yeah. Huh? But in theory it seems like it would work. Because you would eliminate all the crime, drug crime, because if it's legal,
of it.
Yeah, because if it's illegal, then it won't have to be a secret to get into the country. So you won't have to be crossing people at the border.
Yeah.
You can just produce it yourself. Then you can tax it. You can make money that way. But I think what I think the best thing about legalizing the drugs is that it will allow for healthier drugs and lack of lacing. Same thing with alcohol. Like when you made alcohol illegal, there was moonshine. And it wasn't like pure alcohol. It was like 95% alcohol. But then once you legalize it, then there's regulations, and then there's the alcohol administration. There's like the Food and Drug Administration, And then instead of having laced heroin with fentanyl, you're going to legalize it. Then you can get pure heroin.
Yeah.
And then you can, so at least there's control over all the drugs that you're dealing. But like right now, since it's all illegal, it's just like the Wild Wild West.
But do you think the federal government should have power over that? Or do you think states, like I feel like making it illegal federally and then having the states having the ability to legalize it themselves rather than having it legal federally and then the states can say, no, it's illegal here, illegal here.
Yeah, I don't even understand, like, because all these, there's a lot of states that make marijuana legal, most states, but it's still federally illegal.
So when they cross states lines and
that's when it becomes an issue.
Mm-hmm.
But what if all states made it legal, marijuana legal, but federally it's still illegal?
Well, if all states made it legal, then it'll be fine.
But
Because you're gonna cross state lines into another state that's legal in.
Yeah.
But I think if all states or majority of states had it legal, then the federal government would pass something.
I just remember just from like the last 15 years of going through the school system, at the beginning of middle school into freshman year of high school, there was weed dealers, just people who sold weed. By the time I was graduating and I was in college, nobody was selling weed anymore because you didn't have to.
Mm-hmm.
Now everyone who was selling weed, instead of selling weed, they went to go sell like prescription drugs. I mean, I knew people selling Adderall. I know people selling Xanax. I know people selling like all these drugs. And it's so crazy to think that it's like we have this idea that if we want to legalize, that by legalizing all these drugs, I guess I'm making a counter argument to what I was saying, that it would eliminate all the drug dealing. But if you said everything was legal, then people could partake in all those drug uses, and they wouldn't have to sell them illegally, and then you could tax everything, because like the city of Oakland, they completely made everything legal. Seattle's done it too, Amsterdam has done it too, and actually out in Amsterdam they have like those heroin centers where they're like they're like clinical hospital offices where there's beds and there's needles, and you can bring your own drugs into the place, and you can put your arm up as you're like in a little cubicle. There's firefighters there, ambulances, doctors on staff, and you can shoot your own heroin into your arm, and then you flunk over, then they bring you back to life. And like the idea of that is that instead, it's gotten so bad that instead of trying to help everybody, it's like they started like being almost like it's a sticky situation because you don't want to say that they gave up because you don't want to. They showed that statistically, like at least the evidence so far has, you don't save everybody. Most people you don't save. So instead of having these people out there in the streets causing other issues,
bring them somewhere else or not.
Having them in an area where they are out of the public's view and they're just ODing on themselves.
Oh my, it's so.
But I've told a few people this and they get like so upset. Like I think I told Mom, like they get so upset. It's like, oh, you're giving in. But it's so wild to think like.
I think just kind of think it's gross.
It's gross.
It's just gross.
It's a weird thing, but it's one of those things where imagine in Baltimore, you go to Baltimore and you see people strung out all the time. Well, what if those people were strung out but inside of a building? As a citizen, you'd be like, oh, I like that. But then you're also an enabler. You're like, as long as they're out of sight, out of mind.
Yeah.
But and it's like the truth is that so many people don't get off.
Yeah, it's majority of people don't get off and they overdose.
Yeah, and most people. I don't think everyone has to get off of it. As long as you're like self-responsible, like, or not even self-responsible, as long as like you don't have people like relying on you, like who gives a fuck? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like there's people under the bridges like in Baltimore. I'm like,
but I feel like majority of humans kind of feel guilty or bad.
Yeah.
And it's like that dude's just killing himself.
Yeah. I feel that way. I do. When I was working at the restaurant and like African American people came into the restaurant, where I mean nothing against the place, but the area itself is a little, I would say, racist.
Yeah.
And you would hear like these people just talk about these African Americans like they were an animal, like a second class citizen. And I wasn't partaking in it, but I would feel guilty. Like I would treat them better than the white people. I would treat them like this sense of
Because you're
like,
hearing everything.
yeah, like guilt. Like I almost feel like I felt bad for them, which I guess is enabling, but at the same time, it's like I don't know. It's drugs and alcohol is weird. It's like one of those things where you hear people all the time like, once an alcoholic, always an alcoholic. It's like, fuck, man. It's like you don't even want to. Like if I was alcoholic, like if I had an addictive mentality, like I haven't had a drink in like 2 months because I'm already scared with like my reality, but if that's altered a little bit, that shit scares me even more.
Yeah.
Like I have to be in control at all times because I already feel like I'm out of control all the time. But like if I had an addictive personality and I was like 6 months sober, I wouldn't want to be considered an alcoholic anymore. But I think there's something almost like comforting in that for somebody who is an alcoholic. It's like, because if you're no longer alcoholic, then you can't really you don't really have a community anymore.
And I feel like our society, I think especially our government, wants to be so inclusive into every possible little thing where people don't have like their own independence anymore.
Do you know any alcoholics that are your age?
Yeah.
College is weird, right?
College. There's this one guy who used to play lacrosse. He's not going to Salisbury anymore, but his parents just withdrew him from the college because he hasn't been going to class for the past 2 months.
Yeah.
And every day he either has to get high or he has to get drunk.
Yeah.
And he's just been spending like thousands and thousands of dollars for not going to class and for other things.
Yeah,
and he was a really, really great guy.
Yeah.
Just he wasn't doing what he's supposed to do at college.
It's so weird at that age. Like I was telling somebody, it's almost like society has accepted that to be an alcoholic, to be classified an alcoholic, that doesn't start till you're 24.
That's so not true.
But that's
high school.
But that was
high school.
When did you ever know somebody who was drinking every single weekend in high school and college, and you never thought that they were an alcoholic? No one ever thought that.
No.
Parents would like enable it. Yeah, it was like cool. It was not. I wouldn't say cool. I don't like that. That word's so empty. But it was like almost accepted. Like it was like accepted to get trashed every single weekend, which is so wild to think about because your brain is like developing, especially for dudes, mostly dudes. At that age, guys are most reckless at that age, and that's like where your behavioral addictions start. Like your personality starts between 2 to 4, but the patterns that you will continue for the rest of your life start between 17 to 23. So it's like, I mean, I was taking a final, one of my business law final, and the kid like right before the test starts. I mean, this kid is like a little special, but right before the test starts, he like tells the whole class, he's like, "Oh fuck." He's like, I had to stop drinking at 2:00 in the morning for this test, but once this shit is over, I'm gonna start drinking again.
Like it's cool.
And everybody like agreed with him, and I'm over here just like, what the fuck?
I think especially guys who say it in such a humorous way.
Yeah.
Where it's like a joke and everyone laughs and they just keep going with it. I see that so much in college.
Yeah.
But actually high school too. Most of the kids in like who either didn't have a lot of friends or the one dude who had a ton of friends.
Yeah.
It was one of those.
Yeah. Yeah, I just thought that was so strange that how, here you are surrounded by all these people who are supposed to be considered, the more educated part of society, like completely just denying the fact that this is eating away your liver and breaking down your prefrontal cortex and like stunting your mental ability. Like your capacity to educate yourself is diminishing each drink you have. And I don't know, it's just so strange to me how there's so many things that are so counterintuitive with. I was talking to this teacher yesterday. I'm in Starbucks, whatever, and she comes up to me, and I'm like doing my schoolwork, and she's like, "Oh, what do you I like helped her connect her cord to the wall and everything, so I talked to her a little bit then, and then she's like, "Oh, you're a student?" I was like, "Yeah, I'm a student at the community college." She's like, "Oh, I'm a professor," and I assumed she was at ACC. Or I didn't say. I said I'm a student at Towson. She said she's a teacher at Chesapeake, and
and I was Severna Park Starbucks, which I highly recommend. It's very nice. And I'm doing schoolwork and everything. And she's like, wow, you really are studying hard. And I'm looking at like what I have. I have like note cards and stuff. I have like a laptop out. And I have like the basics, like in my head, the basics and, whatever. She's like, what are you studying? I tell her business, whatever. And then she starts talking to me about like school and stuff. And we start getting into my life story about like my relationship with school and like her daughter, she doesn't know what to do with school. And she's asking me, she's like, it looks like you have like, you look really organized and you look like, you're a good student. And I look at her and I look at her. I'm like, I don't think like what you see it's like the truth. She's like, what do you mean? I was like, I don't know if like I'm sitting here, and I've been sitting here for 5 hours straight and I'm studying. But I said, what you're seeing right now is somebody who wants to be here for 5 hours straight. And she's like, what do you mean by that? Because she's a professor. So she's like, she had like this assumption that all kids in college want to be in college. And she's talking to me about her daughter. And she's like, I just don't know what to do with my daughter. And I said, well, I think one of the better things you can do with your daughter is tell her that if you don't go to college, I support your decision.
Okay, yeah.
And she was like, what do you mean? I said, ma'am, 1 year ago, I was not sitting here and I wasn't going to school. And I wasn't even thinking about going to school. And I was just thinking about picking up more shifts at the restaurant. And I was just thinking about that. And I said, I think it's really important, and this is for anybody out there listening, I think it's really important to have more than like your first reason to go to school should never be to get a degree. Mm-hmm. And I think that's really dangerous. And I don't think your second reason should be to go to school should be to get your parents off your back. I think the first reason that you should go to school is to allow yourself to allow you to have a higher level of education. Mm-hmm. And like whenever you feel like that is necessary, whenever you feel like you are ready to take that step, you should take that step. I was talking to Taylor about it and I was like, it's so wild to me that at this age of 17, I mean, for me, it didn't start for me, but I know for some people and like your friends, and I know people that go to like these like very high intel schools where it requires 4 years of preparation before you even apply, mm-hmm. where you're looking at this school and you're seeing like what you need here. Oh, and it's so insane that this lady was talking to me like her daughter and the kids in her class are crazy or that they're not working hard to be in school. And I look at her, I'm like, well, they just don't want to be in school. And she was like mind blown. I said, yeah, no, most kids in college don't want to be in college. Most kids in college shouldn't be in college.
And mostly all kids, why they go to college is to have that party life, is to have that, time away from their family, to actually not to barely go to class.
Yeah. And I know plenty of people like that. I know people that went to like South Carolina. I know people that went to University of, fill in the name, Florida, Maryland, California, and West Virginia, especially West Virginia.
West Virginia, yes. I know a lot of people who aren't going there anymore.
Yeah, and they got to come back.
After the first year, they come right back here, go to AACC, mm-hmm. find a job. I know plenty, at least a handful.
Yeah.
From my grade.
And it's so not shocking. Like, it's so understandable. It's one of those things where you go to campus and you like step foot into like an imaginary world. Mm-hmm. You step foot into this world that's like it's like marked off on the map, and like there's buildings here, there's clubs here, there's cafeteria here, and
it's like a utopia.
It's
at
like,
first glance,
and it's so wild because it's a college campus where you feel like an individual, but everything around you is paid for by your parents.
Yeah,
that's the craziest thing about a college campus is that you have all these things that you can go to, and there's all these well-paid professors, but all of it's not paid for by you. It's like you're still not an individual yet.
I will say, though, one thing with me that has changed a lot with college, and something I really, really like, is I have learned how to do things, especially with you and I growing up with our family.
Yeah.
I have learned how to handle situations, kind of adult in my own way, because I'm kind of am living by myself.
Yeah.
In my own room, with my own apartment. Mm-hmm. Of course, paid for by our parents, but at the same time, I'm having to do call certain people, clean my room,
Yeah.
stay organized, because it's my area, and it's changed my whole viewpoint as an individual. I
Yeah.
think that part can be beneficial if you do it the right way.
Yeah, learning how to have some sort of self-responsibility.
Mm-hmm.
But that's, I think a lot of that's like self-respect, having like respect for your own area or in your room. I will say that you have been like within the past year, you definitely have gained more self-responsibility, I would say. You have this, you've starting to, I wouldn't say you didn't understand, but I think you're starting to understand how much, like what you need to do to elevate yourself in society.
Thank you.
Which, is like, I'm still trying to figure that shit out. But yeah, I see people all the time. Like if I go up to Virginia Tech, I see so many people just running there. There's got to be a reason why you do what you do. And I think if you're in college right now and you don't understand what you're doing, I don't think you should. I don't think you should go. I don't think you should. It's like if you're in a relationship with somebody, it's not a good relationship. It's like, oh, I want to, it could be better, but how many times could it be better when it's never been better?
Yeah.
Right?
I feel like people, especially the first year of college, and that's why there are many people who drop out freshman year, is they go have all this fun during the weekend, and I'm not going to classes during the week, and it's a blast when the weekend comes, and then it's the end of the year, and they've gone nowhere, and they have nothing. They don't have many friends anymore, and they're like, everything I have is back home, because they actually didn't build a life on their own in college. And it's happened to so many people who was expected from after high school.
Yeah, once you get there, you for a lot, for most people, it's like that was the goal for high school was to get to college. And once you get there, you realize, oh shit, there's only 4 years. I already finished 25% of them. I only have 3 more years, but what do I do after that? And then you start setting, I love the idea of goals. I think goal setting is good, but I don't think goal setting is good in the sense that once you reach a goal, you're fucking empty as hell. Yeah. I think there should be, instead of goal setting, I think there should be purpose attainment. Like I think there should be
short term.
And I think you should, instead of reaching goals, you should be able to like take like a rock, for example, and never really achieving like where how it's gonna look, but just constantly molding the rock into a certain shape. And in that sense, like that's like your life, like constant, like always balancing things out and always trying new things. And I think I know for me, I want to do a lot more traveling and stuff.
Yes.
It's something that I definitely want to hop on more.
I think I know I'm one of the few, like the lucky ones who actually know what they want to do at a young age.
Yeah.
But I also feel like people go to college for something that they're not even sure what they want to do yet in life.
Yeah.
It's like a waste of time.
I've always wondered, like, I don't know if that's like something with our family, if that's only with our family, but there's something between the males and the females in this family where I know, like, I've always watched you and you've always just felt like comfortable with, like, I wouldn't say, I'm not going to say average because I'm not diminishing what you're doing, but okay with just doing this to lead to that, and then I'll get there. And then you can, like, breathe.
Yeah.
Like, for me, once I reach, like, a certain thing, I freak out and I just, like, stop the brakes and I try to completely destroy everything around me to, like, go crazy again and fix something again.
Yeah.
Like for mom, for mom, for example, she can sit there and be like, I'm got 4 more years at school, at work, and I'm gonna retire, and then I'll be okay with that, and then go do this and go do that. And dad's like in a constant manic all day.
Yeah.
And I'm like in a constant manic all day. I've been trying to get better and better, but like for you to just say, oh, in 4 years I'm gonna be a school teacher, like that. I've talked to Taylor about it. I've always tried to figure out like what that. I don't know if that's just a male female thing, but like that lack of impulsivity that you have, where you can just fucking.
I can say the same thing with me, but at the same time, there's been, especially this semester, many times where I'm like, is teaching actually what I want to do? I'm going to keep taking the classes because I'm in the program.
What else would it be?
I love fitness. I love nutrition and everything, but I don't think I could have I think that's my hobby. I don't think I want to make that a job.
Those words right there, that is not how my brain works.
Like that's incredible that you separate job versus hobby.
I find hobbies fun.
Like this was a hobby for me, but I would be lying if I said I didn't want to eventually make money off of the podcast.
Really?
Yeah.
But like that would be a good job because that would be your hobby that you're making it. I feel like if I can understand
the idea of me making it just a hobby and it would
and making money off of it.
I want to make money off of it so I can keep on investing back into it.
Gotcha.
But like it should just be a hobby. Like just like when you go fishing, you should just want to go fishing like if I went fishing too much, I would want to bring out a camera and try to put up vlogging.
Yeah.
So I could not like the
so you can
money.
make something.
Yeah, so I can just make it bigger and bigger and bigger.
Yeah.
Like, it's always been like my issues. I've always just try to fucking just make it bigger and bigger and bigger. Like like there was a point with the podcast where I was putting out 4 videos a week.
Yeah.
That's exhausting. I mean, we're at episode 50 and now I'm trying to put out a video Monday or Tuesday and Thursday. 2 videos a week. You know, I've been trying to dial it back. But yeah, like what you were saying, like you're like, oh, I'm gonna like that's gonna be my hobby. Like my hobby is going to the gym, but it was like I don't know, like that. My hobby of going to the gym was probably my hobby for 2 years,
and then you made it constant, and now you're working at the gym.
Then it was YouTube,
which
I was making money off of with Connor, and then it was a clothing company, and then it was
bigger and better,
another YouTube channel, and then it was you love us so much, let's get a job at the gym, you know, and then. So then I had a hot, you know, and then
like, you get tired from it too.
Yeah, and then I fucking burn out from it, and then I get pissed off at it, and then I get mad about it again. Where it's like mom's hobbies, like having a glass of wine on Friday or Saturday. I would have a camera reviewing the way it tastes. I would be sniffing the wine and shit, and mom'd be like, "What are you doing?" And I'm like, "No, just trying to
wine tasting,
just sell some wine here." Like that's how it works.
But that's why I get scared as a teacher. Is my hobby? Well, it's a job right now, but nannying, I absolutely adore kids, children.
Yeah,
I can talk to them for hours, or just be with them for hours. But then having that as a job, 5 days a week, being around kids nonstop, I feel like I'm the. How old is that?
I don't know. A couple million years old.
You know what I thought about today?
Shit.
I was watching this video. Emma Chamberlain video, and she was starting to drink a water. Emma Chamberlain, she's on YouTube. She has like 8-point-something million followers.
What is it?
She just like does vlogs.
But is it fitness or?
It's just casual every day. Like she just kind of talks to her camera. She's really funny.
Makeup routines and.
No, she sucks at makeup. She never wears it.
Okay.
Mostly like clothing hauls and like what I do in a day.
Dude, clothing hauls. I don't know how like clothing hauls get so many views. People love like that excitement. Like, oh my god. It's like Christmas every day for the viewer. Like, what do they get? What do they get? What do they get? Same thing with food. Like, have you ever seen
I don't like watching the food ones.
Was it ASMR? Where people like eat, but people love that.
Yeah, I don't like that.
You see like the Asian ones with the octopuses.
Oh, I love octopuses. Don't even.
But eating them.
Yeah, that's nasty.
Sorry.
I wouldn't be able to
what
watch
did you
that.
think today?
Well, she was having a water. She goes, I think this is like a week old. And she drank it, and she's like, it tastes like a week old. But we have bottles in that fridge downstairs that have been there for like a month, not opened. But they taste like a normal fresh bottle of water when you open it. But then something like that that's been in here closed for like a week. Same bottle that like when you first opened it. It tastes different.
Yeah, it's because of your mouth germs.
Oh.
Yeah, because when you drink it, whatever's like
crazy.
in your mouth, you close it and it just fucking.
Oh, that's nasty.
So I'm hoping it's me. It wasn't like Charles or something.
When was the last time Charles has been here?
I don't know.
When was the last time you've seen him?
Hi,
Hi, Charles.
Every once in a while. He's one of the guys who's like, he's doing well.
Yeah.
Like he's working that job and he's making good money, and there's a lot of people like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I think all my friends are actually doing well. I mean, I think I'm 2 maybe.
Friends?
Yeah.
You have more friends
Like
that you don't think are friends.
People that I would hang out with. I wouldn't even hang out with Charles though. I might invite him over.
I know, and that's something.
But if I had to hang out with him for more than 2 hours, and he knows this. He knows
of course
this.
you've told him.
Like if it's more than 2 hours, what do we do now? Like I kind of want to read my book, but you're still here. Get the fuck out.
Yeah.
You know?
I have that with some friends. I'm not that close with them, but
I have that with Taylor. She has that with me. She's like, can you go like somewhere?
Yeah.
Get away.
Like, I'm a legit loner. Like, most people say they're loners, but, like, no, like, there's...
See, I like being alone.
Yeah.
I've always been someone who likes, that, someone who likes being alone. I've always been alone my whole life. I like being by myself. But there's times where I'm like, oh, I can have somebody there.
Mhm.
Like Caroline. Caroline's a great example because we live with each other. And we're always with each other.
Yeah.
But we just don't talk to each other when we're with each other.
Yeah.
And it's perfect.
Yeah.
Because I still have company, but at the same time, it's like she's not even there.
Yeah. What were you thinking about Emma Chamberlain?
Oh, there's that water thing.
Oh.
Yeah, that was a lot of thought.
She tastes different. Wait, she didn't taste different. She said the water tastes different.
But yeah, it's about 1 million years old.
And she said during a video today, it's just a normal, casual day, everything I do in a day. She's like, it's been a very boring day. Yet she gets out a Louis Vuitton fitting, and then she goes to her own podcast that she has, and then it's like all this stuff. I'm like,
Why do you think podcasts are so popular all of a sudden?
Like, I feel like...
I think because it's more of a old way of doing it.
Yeah, I think it's
More vintage.
I think it's like reality TV, which people love, but without like the TV, so you
Yeah.
can travel with it.
Yeah.
I think that's the coolest thing about podcasts is you don't have to, like... You can just play it wherever. You can play it while you're, in the gym. You can do it as you're going to work. You can do it wherever. And you can listen to people talk. And, like, I started listening to podcasts.
Like music.
Yeah, kind of like music. But even, like, I know for me, like, sometimes I get exhausted listening to music so long that I'd, like, turn on a podcast.
But I've noticed like everybody I know really like
Everybody knows who Joe Rogan is. Even, like, people double our age, people that are younger than us, they all, like, know of Joe Rogan because they've had, he's had Elon Musk on, and then he's had, like, Alex Jones on, and he's had, like, if you're a fighter, he's had fighters on. If you're ex-football player, he's had football players on. If you're a podhead, he's had podheads on. Like, he has, like, all these people on. And, like, I was telling Dad, I don't think podcasts are at the point yet where, like, TV was, where everybody had a TV. But I think within 5 years, if you start a podcast now, you will have one of the biggest streaming podcasts in the world. I really do. I think everyone's going to start listening to them, and I think people are getting sick. I mean, people don't watch TV anymore. People travel with their eyes down. But, soon you're going to be able to travel with, like, glasses on where you can, like, see out of, like, one glass or something like that.
It's like a Ned's Declassified School Survivor Guide.
Yeah.
When Cookie did that with his glasses.
Jesus Christ. Was your Cookie the black kid?
Yeah.
The kid who was
he
always
had, like,
drooling?
the glasses, he would, like, yeah.
Yeah.
The drooling problem.
But yeah, I don't know. I like I said, I love doing the podcast, but sometimes I'm just like, it can get stressful at times because like, fuck, man, I really want to post, but I wish I could. I don't know. I don't know if you know anybody, but I want somebody. I would pay him like, whatever, a few, some money each week, just to be able to put the podcast together. That shit, that takes a lot of work.
Yeah.
Like look at the ground. Look
You know
at all
who's
these
really,
wires.
really into that? I don't think I'd ever make it. I don't remember. Sam.
I know. Well, he's told me he puts together videos and shit.
He loves.
Has he ever talked
editing.
about it?
He talks about editing a lot, and I never knew you wanted help because I would definitely talk to him about it. But he also has a lot of other stuff going on that's stressful. But I think that's like a passion for him. So
Because I need like
if I could take like what I really need is somebody to go through all my podcast and take like 10-minute clips where I talk about a subject for like 10 minutes and just re-upload that as a completely different YouTube video. Because then that will allow, because shorter the video, more views you get. So that will allow people to, I'll upload it to the Michael Lab show, so my main YouTube channel, and that way that can get views too. And then like clips have a better chance to go viral, and then you can watch the podcast itself. But every time I finish a podcast, I have like this sense of, whew, got that off my chest.
Yeah.
Had to get it done. Which is like not where really I want to be. And I want to have guests on, but I also don't want to be here when I have guests on. I don't like the idea of like being, like I have to lock the door just so like my parents don't come in. And I want to have people here, and I want to get like people on the podcast, but I'm scared to like have I don't know. I'm scared to have like friends over and shit.
really,
Yeah, I don't like the idea because I have like I haven't even asked our parents yet, but I don't like the idea of just having random people in the house up here doing podcast.
just like random people.
Well, people that I know, but I don't know if my parents know.
Yeah.
That's why when I've had on the podcast are,
people that might be like
Yeah,
you,
familiar.
Charles, Taylor, mom, dad.
Yeah.
I got to get a third mic and then have mom and dad on here at the same time.
Oh gosh, that would be a show.
Yeah.
That would be a show.
Yeah. So we're about an hour in. Is there anything else you want to cover?
No.
No, as in.
I will think about stuff after I'm done. But I won't be able to say it.
Okay.
But as of now, nothing's up there.
Can you check if this is episode 50? I think it is. Can you go to the YouTube channel?
Yeah.
I think it's episode 50. That's crazy, though. It's only been since, like, September. No, it's episode 49. Yeah, episode 49.
Oh, so the whole music thing was a bummer. It wasn't about who.
Yeah, it wasn't about who, but I can't wait to start. I'm going to start this book tonight. I'm so excited to learn about autistic people.
Do you work tomorrow?
Yes.
What time?
4.
4?
Yeah.
Okay.
Why is that shocking?
I want to go to the gym. I thought you were going to work earlier.
You can go to the gym. What time are you going to go to the gym?
I might go around 4:30, so it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, I'm going to go at 4. I'm going to study all day, too, for my math test.
Do I have guest passes at the gym?
You have that 1 week guest pass. But everyone has a guest pass. If you've never gone to the gym before, you get 1 free day.
Oh, so if I just like brought Sam one time?
Yeah, his first day's
going?
free.
Oh,
Yeah, just give him a slight liability waiver.
gotcha.
Just needs information to sign a liability waiver.
See, I thought I've used that.
No, everybody gets 1 free day guest pass.
Oh, I thought I just get one guest pass, and I thought I've used that.
Yeah.
Oh.
But yeah, guys, that's it. That's for episode 49. If you guys liked it, please
Thank you.
like, comment, subscribe. I'll catch you guys on episode 50.
Oh, look, it's
Thanks so
Taylor's
much. Have a
coat.
great day.